People who have had threesomes. How did they get initiated? Once the girl I was with and her best friend and I were chilling, just drinking pretty heavily. I went to the kitchen to grab a drink, and when I returned to them, the friend was straddling my girl in her chair, tongue kissing. Was basically the hottest thing I'd ever seen in real life. I just sat down at the table and watched for a minute, and then they both looked over at me, and then it was on. Not my only threesome, but definitely my most memorable. Best sex and easiest threesome I ever had. My very BGF said, "OMGX looks hot tonight, right?" Me, "Oh yeah. She always looks great though." GF gets up, talks to X for about 2 minutes, then starts making out with XGF. "OMG, I totally just cheated on you. How could I? I guess you gotta come make out with X2 to get back at me." Winks. She did this about 4 more times in our relationship. Didn't hate it, lol. For the first one, my friend wanted to arrange it as a treat for her boyfriend. She knew what I was like, so she just straight up asked me after a couple of glasses of wine one night. It was horrific, though. Definitely wouldn't do it again with someone I'm that close to. Second one was a couple who were into swinging. They were a bit older than me and sort of hinted at it a couple of times. I was hanging out at theirs and the wife got flirtier and touchier with me whilst the husband just watched until he could tell I was cool with the idea of a threesome. The one was much better, but I'm not a fan of threesomes overall. Too many bits flying around. It's like trying to rub your belly and pat your head at the same time. We got drunk with some other people for my birthday party, and then almost everyone left except my wife's friend. My wife told her she's bisexual. Turns out the other girl was too. Quite a lot of alcohol was involved on everyone's part. They started making out and undressing. I joined in, and the next thing I know, I'm having sex with the other girl while my wife beside me is saying, "How can this gift ever be topped?" As far as I know, it was unplanned and spontaneous, which could have massively backfired but turned out to be a great experience for everyone. My wife told me she has been curious about what it would be like with a girl. I told her if she had an opportunity she should explore it. She ended up having some drinks and fooling around with our neighbor. After a couple of times I ended up walking in on them. It was a bit awkward for me. I saw myself out. About 5 minutes later they came and found me to make sure everything was cool. I said it was fine. They then asked me if I wanted to watch. Watching soon turned to some interaction, and then the next time I was involved from the beginning. We made sure to follow rules that we all agreed to be comfortable with. It was lots of fun. Over the next year or so we had a few threesomes and things never got weird. My wife found a woman on Tinder. They're both bi. They dated a few times. She described her type of man to my wife. I didn't fit the description. All good. We were looking for friends in LGBTQ community as well, so we all decided that it would be a platonic relationship. On their 4th date, I joined them. Tinder girl knew I was going to be there. It wasn't a surprise. Me and Tinder girl hit it off. Like really hit it off. Again, the plan was to just be friends. I feel like this took a ton of pressure off and I was more myself. This was the same night of my wife and Tinder girl's first kiss. It was my wife's first same-sex kiss in a very long time. Later they were texting and my wife told her she was really into her. Tinder girl told my wife she was into me, as well as her, and could see us having a threesome. This really excited my wife. My wife and I had a weekend getaway a few cities over coming up in a few weeks. This was planned before my wife even got on Tinder. We asked Tinder girl if she wanted to join us. She said yes. We had a threesome. We've all been dating ever since. The 3 of us, me, my girlfriend and a really good friend, hang out a lot, and there had been sexual tension for a while. They both identify as bi, but up to that point had never gone very far with another woman. I had made many jokes about it over the years, and they had both previously said they would be into it multiple times, but the vibes were just never right. One night we went out drinking and dancing. Everybody was flirting and dancing on each other, and we went back to our house and had a few more drinks. We were still having fun, but there was this air that everybody knew what we were all thinking, but nobody had the nerve to actually make a move. Finally, I just thought fuck it and said, "Okay, this is crazy. You two go downstairs and get in the shower right now and I'll be there in a minute." They immediately stood up and went. When I went down a minute later and pulled back the shower curtain, that is an image that I will have in my mind until I die. I've almost had threesomes twice. Both I turned down for different reasons, but since this is about how they get initiated, this still fits. At my graduation party, this girl that had always been into me and her friend. Everybody was joking about it, and you could just feel it in the air that it would happen if anybody made a move. I pushed out at a bar with my buddy, playing wingman for him. Or so I thought. He's got the one he wants talking to her. So I'm talking to the friend running cock block interference. Bar close time. The one I had been talking to comes and grabs me. Here's the convo as best as I can recall. Her. We were wondering if you wanted to have sex. Me. With who? Her. Either of us. Or both of us. Did not do it because I was engaged and had kids on the way. A girl from work I was hooking up with was B. I met up with her at a Halloween party, and after a few hours and with the drinks flowing, I walked in on her eating out her friend in a random bedroom. I stood there not really knowing how to react to the situation because I actually did have feelings for her, and it did kind of feel like she was cheating to me. She then invited me to join, and next thing you know I was banging both of them. It was fun and everything, but not life-changing like people make it out to be. I actually forgot about it until I saw this post 9. So basically, for pretext, my girlfriend and I had this running joke for a while that I can't name any 90s R&B tracks or artists by ear. So we, along with her slutty best friend, had been drinking. Basically, a song came on and they bet me a double blowjob that I wouldn't guess the artist, and I happened to get it right. The look on their faces was priceless, man. After the head, I wound up having a threesome with them at it. Sorry to leave y'all hanging. It was. Differences genuine good luck kings. Not a threesome, but foursome. Malay, came home from studying late one night, and my roommate had two of her female friends over. They were already drunk and taking body shots off each other, and yelled that I should join in. I was taking body shots off them off me. Then the plan was to go out back for a fire, but one of the friends stayed behind and just started making out with me, and we immediately went to my room and forgot to close the door. One of the other friends came in the house to see where we were and walked into my room. Upon seeing her, we both kind of just pulled her into the bed with us and she went along. We're all naked getting absolutely wild when my roommate comes in wondering why she's been alone outside for so long and walks into my room where she says, "How come I wasn't invited?" Takes off her clothes and jumps in bed with us. I hope I never forget that night. I can answer this one finally. Happened recently. Two close friends of mine recently got engaged, so we threw a party to celebrate at our place. We lived together with the fourth as well. After a few hours of partying, a couple people turned in and things got a bit more mellow. A friend, who I'll call P, asked if they could take their pants off, and we were like, "You sure, why not?" For some background, the people who are still up are very casual and open about sexuality and our bodies, so I didn't think anything of it. Also, booze. Anyway, I got mesmerized by P's butt and asked if I could touch it, to which I got the response on, "Dude, you don't have to ask to touch my butt," so I did. That led to a little flirtiness, and they flirted back, but there was also flirting going on between them and my best friend G, not one of the freshly engaged. After a bit, we're just in a big cuddle pile talking, doing some light touching and flirting between the three of us, and eventually I just up and said, "Yo, you guys want to go to my room? You two can get started. I got a piss and I'll meet you in there." They went, I pissed. When I got in the room, they had gotten started and we proceeded to have a threesome. Was a good time had by all, though it did leave G with a few questions in the morning about his sexuality and what he wants in life. Nobody regrets it though, and we all agree it was a lot of fun. No weirdness or anything. Edit. For clarity. P is female and identifies as they them. Me and G are Malay and G identifies as he him. I was getting my ass handed to me playing Wii bowling against an old FWB of mine and her friend. We played about 5 games and I lost all of them badly. For the 6th game they wanted to make it interesting, so they said whoever wins the next game gets to make the other 2 losers do whatever she wants. My friend said if she wins she's gonna make us fetch her food and drinks for the rest of the night. Her friend said if she won we would have to give a long massage. I said if I win, both of you have to take turns sucking my cock. They both looked at each other and said to me, "Yeah, okay, sure, whatever. You've been getting his ass kicked at bowling all night." Well, last frame comes up and I needed 3 strikes in a row to win. I got those 3 strikes and proceeded to have the best night of my life. Long story how we got to this point, but my friend and I had 2 girls on ecstasy in my dorm room and everyone was a bit drunk. One of the girls I had been sleeping with for a while, and the other was her friend who I had heard about for a while, but never met. At one point my girl makes out with me a bit, so the friend starts making out with my friend. I end up fucking my girl on my bed, while my friend is messing around with the other girl on my roommate's bed. Sorry, Dylan. I try to last as long as I think my friend is lasting, and eventually he seems done. He kinda went soft, I think, so didn't actually finish. So I finish. We all regroup by my bed to drink some more, but now we're all naked. One thing leads to another, and before I know it, the other girl has just started going down on my girl. I see the opportunity and invite my friend onto my bed, and we all just start having fun. My friend and I at opposite ends of the bed, sort of trading off the girls. Not much sex, but plenty of head and fingering. Eventually my friend had to leave, so I ended up with the girls for the rest of the night. It was one of the best experiences ever. I'm late to this thread, but I can finally share an interesting, at least to me, story to this thread. At my work few years back, I met a girl. After a few months of interaction, we became good friends, and I started to like her. After befriending her, I came to know that she had an identical twin sister. She showed me the pictures of them together. As much as the twin sister looked like my friend, I did not find her as attractive as my friend was. There were slight differences which made world of differences to me. Like, my friend's smile was different than her twin. I mean, my friend's smile was way better and natural than her twin. And over the period of time, I understood that my friend also had feelings for me. So, I asked her out. She immediately accepted. Soon our relationship became physical, and it was even better. I never connected with a human being like that before. Everything was perfect. She was perfect. Even I was somehow perfect for her. She was a little out of my league. Few months later, we had become a couple, almost like living together. Then one fine day, my girlfriend told me about her fantasy. She wanted to have threesome with her twin sister. She had already discussed with her twin, and she was on board too. I was totally skeptical because I was madly in love with my girlfriend. I was even thinking about marrying her. So, I did not want to ruin it by doing something stupid like having threesome with her twin. But she eventually convinced me. Finally, we planned and went for a small vacation. At one night, we had a few drinks and started doing. It was great. Reasons being, the differences I felt between them took a back seat since both were physically same. Basically, two is better than one kind of a deal. So, we all three really had a great time.